Sri Satchidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai, Sai Baba the Master, the refugee of his devotees. As is natural with every saint, the people that flocked to Baba were of various kinds. Some came for elevation of the misery, some wanted better standard of living, others wanted to know about him through first-hand experience and not from what others said of him. Lastly, there were the ardent seekers after spiritual illumination. Naturally, the first two categories were the largest in number and the fourth were the fewest. We shall see how all these people were received and blessed by Baba. Gopal Rao Gund was a circle inspector at Kopargaon. He married thrice but has no issues. He heard of Sri Sai Baba, sought his blessings and later had a son. It was in gratitude for this blessing that Gopal Rao Gond thought of celebrating the annual Urus in honor of Sai Baba and had actually started the custom in 1897. The district collector's permission was obtained for the celebration, but the devotees were confronted with the problem of providing drinking water for the large number of people that flocked there. One of the wells at Shirdi had very brackish water. The water was miraculously turned into sweet drinking water when Sri Sai Baba threw flowers into it. Then there was Damohanna Kasar of Ahmednagar, who too had no issue even though he married twice. It was only with Sri Sai Baba's blessings that he had sons. He used to share the expenses of the urus with Gopal Rao Gund. Baba often helped his devotee out of tight corners in his own mysterious ways. Uddhavesh of Deno left for Dwaraka along with a group of pilgrims from Bombay. He had all the tickets of his party in his purse when they boarded the ship. As the steamer was overcrowded, Uddhavesh had to stand on the gallery. When he put his hand in his pocket, his purse with all the money and the tickets slipped and fell into the sea. He was embarrassed, so he at once wrote to Baba of his plight. Even before his letter reached Shirdi, Baba appeared in the dream of his son Girdhar Gopal of Denu as a well-dressed priest and told him, "Your father is at Dwarka and he has no money with him, so send it to him." Girdhar awoke and finding it a mere dream, slept again. Again the priest appeared and commanded him to send the money at once. Next day, money was sent by telegraphic money order and Uddhavesh was surprised to receive it. Long after, when Uddhavesh went to Shirdi, Baba told him, "I got the money sent for you." Mrs. Malan Bhai, daughter of D.R. Joshi Devgonkar, suffered from tuberculosis. All medicines have failed. She was taken to Baba at Shirdi. Baba asked her to lie down on a blanket and take nothing but water. She carefully followed these instructions, but after a week or so, she died one early morning. Baba was then in Chavadi. For the first time in Shirdi history, Baba did not leave the Chavadi though it was past 8 a.m. The girl's parents were making ready for the funeral when Malanbai appeared to breathe, opened her eyes, and looked around as if frightened. Later, she narrated her experience. "A dark person was carrying me away, very much frightened. I cried for Baba's help. Baba took his staff and bit him, snatched me from his hands, and carried me to Chavadi." Even though she did not see the Chavadi, she gave an accurate description of the place. Just at the moment of her arrival, Baba left his Chavadi crying loudly in wild abuse, striking his staff against the ground, and he proceeds straight to Dikshit's Vada where the girl was staying. Rajaballi Muhammad says, "I wanted only increase of faith. I wanted that at my death I may die possessed of full iman or faith so that I may have a good end. I prayed to him mentally for that and asked for his blessings. He placed his hand on my head and blessed me. From that moment, his blessings have borne fruit. My faith has steadily increased. Besides that, I have a great benefit from my faith in him and in his Udi. Saints exist to give devotees temporal and spiritual benefits," Baba said. "I have come to give such good things to the devotee." Once, one of his devotees objected to people going to Baba for temporal benefit. Baba said to him, "Do not do that. My men first come to me for that only. They get their desires fulfilled and comfortably placed in life. They follow me and progress further. I bring my men to me from long distances under many plagues." I seek them and bring them to me. They do not come of their own accord. I draw them to me. These words are law even today. One Bhimaji Patil of Narayan Gond developed a severe form of tuberculosis and was often spitting blood. Doctors failed to cure him, and finally he was directed to see Sri Sai Baba by Nana Sahib Chandorkar. When Bhimaji arrived at Shirdi, Baba said that the disease was caused by the evil karma of a past life and he was unwilling to interfere with it. But the patient wept piteously, implored Baba for his blessing. Baba was moved and he said, "Do not fear, your suffering have come to an end. Whoever steps into this masjid will be relieved of his sufferings, however bad they might be. The fakir here is very kind." Soon the spitting of the blood stopped and his condition took a turn for the better. Baba kept the patient in the house of one Bhima Pai, but which looked quite unhygienic. Shortly after, the patient had two dreams. In the first dream, he saw himself as a boy being flogged by the teacher at school for not reciting his poetry lessons. In the second dream, he saw a heavy road roller moving up and down on his chest, causing him infinite pain and agony. By the time he woke up, his disease was completely cured, and with Baba's blessings and leave, he soon left Shirdi. In gratitude of Baba's grace, Bhimaji started a new form of Baba worship called Sri Sai Satyavrata Puja, modeled on Sri Satyanarayana Vrata Puja at his home. Similarly, one Dattopant was relieved of his 14-year-old stomachache simply by Baba's touch. Baba did not always cure a man's ailment simply by his word. He often advocated a course of treatment which actually contradicted all known medical opinion and which, in common experience, was sure to aggravate the ailment. Once Sriman Booty had an attack of cholera. Dr. Pillay's efforts to cure it had failed, and he had the recourse to the master physician Sai Baba. Baba then prescribed him an infusion of almonds, walnuts, and pista, a dry fruit boiled in sugar and milk as his diet. This would, in common parlance, be considered fatal to such a patient, but the disease was cured by it. So too, Kaka Mahajani once suffered from violent diarrhea but had to attend on Baba. So he kept a put pot of water by his side and was often hurrying out to answer Nacho's call. He did not ask Baba for the cure because he had implicit faith that Baba knew all his needs. At that time, the construction of the payment of the masjid was going on. Suddenly, Baba, in his characteristic and accountable manner, burst into wild fury. Everyone ran away, and Kaka Mahajani was about to do the same, but Baba held him back by the hand, forced him to sit there, picked up a handful of groundnuts or peanuts, as some would call them, from a bag left behind by one of the devotee who ran away from there, blew off the chaff, and gave the clean nuts to Kaka. He told Kaka to eat them and then continued his furious outburst of abuse. Baba too ate some of the nuts, drank a little water from a pitcher, and gave the rest to Kaka and told him to drink it. When he did, fearing the worst aggravation of this ailment, Baba said to him, "Now your diarrhea has stopped." Indeed, it did. Something that should have been aggravated the disease has actually cured it. Once Nana had a painful boil on buttock, though he had immense faith in power of Sai Baba to cure it. He knew too well that very often Baba took the suffering on himself, so he preferred to suffer. The doctors finally decided that it must be surgically opened. This prospect frightened Nana very much, for it is a difficult one to operate, said the surgeon, and is even dangerous. However, don't get panicky. I will come tomorrow. That night, Nana slept with Baba's picture under his pillow. The next day, 15 minutes before the operation was to commence, Nana was lying on his face on the bed. Suddenly, a tile fell from the roof, and of all places, it hit the boil on Nana's buttock. It made Nana groan, but it burst the boil and expelled all the bad blood. The doctor examined it and told Nana that there was no need to operate it. Nana could have jumped with joy. After a few days, Nana visited Sai Baba, and the first words that Baba spoke were, I removed Nana's boil with my finger. Sometimes Baba's method of effecting cures were less direct. Perhaps he sometimes felt it necessary for his kiddies to toughen through a process of suffering which he could well gauge to be neither too serious nor too painful. Especially, he seems to have taken care to see that the suffering raised the mental grit or courage of the patient. To this end, he often ordered the patient to go away from him so that psychologically he might get used to depend on Baba's grace and not on Baba's proximity. Kaka Sahib was laid up at Shirdi with high fever and sent a word to Baba through Shama. Baba curtly replied, I am not a doctor, let him go to his house in Ville Parle. Shama was annoyed at his unexpected response, so he said, he stayed here with great trust in you. How can he go now when he is laid up with fever? Baba is not the one to yield. He just reiterated his order and did not even give Udi for him. What a mad fakir he is, he thought. Yet he had the sense to start on his homeward journey went to the mosque to take leave of Baba. On seeing him, Baba said in a voice not too soft, go home. The fever will go even as it came in 4 days' time. Don't lie down on the bed, but move about. Eat badam, almonds, pista, and sira. Then he gave Udi and sent Shama to accompany him on his journey. Kaka's mind gained composure at the assurance of Baba. It was 11 o'clock at a night when they walked home in Ville Parle. Everyone at Kaka's home was surprised at Kaka's quick return this time, for he usually stayed on at Shirdi for several days. His wife was anxious about his health. As for Baba's order, Kaka took sira for his diet. Next day, the fever increased. His wife, in her anxiety, called in a doctor who emphatically told Kaka not to move about but to rest himself and gave him medicine. But Kaka adhered to Baba's orders, kept moving about, and refused to take the medicine. Everyone feared that Kaka would die and started reviling him for pawning away his sense to the absurdities for a mad fakir. The doctor grew impatient with Kaka's obstinacy and roared, what am I here for? But Kaka kept his course. And on ninth day, the temperature fell and it showed normal. Later, when Kaka visited Shirdi again, the first question Baba asked was, what did your people in Mumbai say? He notes it all. Booty was once laid up with typhoid. He stayed in Dikshitswada at Shirdi. He was too weak even to go to Dwaraka Mai for Baba's darshan. Every day Shama used to carry him to Sri Baba and back. Baba just gave him udi and made him eat sira. In course of time, Booty recovered without any need of medicine. A wealthy merchant came to Shirdi in 1911 along with his palsied daughter. She could neither stand nor walk. She was carried into Baba's presence. Baba blessed her and asked them to stay at Shirdi. On the third day, she began to use her legs a little. On the eighth day, she was able to walk, to the wonder of all the devotees. So too, the wife of Ghiasis, an employee of the railway department, was cured of her paralysis by Sai Baba. Nandaram Marwadi visited Shirdi at the time of Second Great Plague in 1911. Many were leaving the village in haste. One day, when he passed by the Maruti temple, some people seated there told him that his eyes were red with fever and he might be struck down by plague. In great fear, he rode on horseback to the temple, where, on the advice of someone, he offered a coconut and oil to the deity. Then he wanted to quit that place and sought Baba's leave. Baba, however, dissuaded him. As long as I am alive, I will not let you die, he said, and gave him Udi. He stayed on, and his fever vanished. One day, Shama was wiping Baba's wet hand with a towel. Baba gazed at him playfully and pinched his cheek. Shama pretended anger and said, Sai, why did you pinch me? We don't want a mischievous god who pinches us thus. Baba replied, Oh Shama, during the 72 births that you were with me, I never pinched you till now, and you resent my touching you. Shama said, We want a god that will ever give us kisses and sweets to eat. We do not want any dignity, wealth, or heaven from you. Let our faith in you be ever awake and alive. Baba lovingly replied, Yes, I have indeed come for that. I have been feeding and nursing you all these lives and have love and affection for you. Such was the intimacy between the master and the devotee. Once the Shama was bitten by a venomous serpent on his little finger. The poison began to spread in his body and caused unbearable suffering and pain. Shama thought that his hand was drawing near. His friends wanted to take him to the shrine of god Vithoba, where many were cured of snake bites, but such was Shama's faith in Baba that he ran to the mosque to his beloved savior. Strangely enough, no sooner he stepped into the mosque than Baba flared up and shouted, O wild priest, do not climb up. Beware, if you do, get out, go down. Poor Shama was mortified and stood there dumbfounded. Then Baba's expression and voice changed suddenly, and with his characteristic love and tenderness, he said, Don't fear, the fakir is merciful and he will save you. Go and sit at home, don't stare out. Have faith in me and be fearless. To his great surprise, Shama found that the pain had already vanished and he felt that the poison was withdrawing to the finger. He returned home. Later, Baba sent word to him through Tatya Patil and Kaka Sahib Dikshit that he could eat whatever he likes and should move about in the house but should not lie down and sleep. Shama did accordingly and was free from all the trouble. It is interesting to reflect on this incident. Baba was shouting and fretting at the poison in Shama's blood and not at Shama himself. Often, Baba appeared to do the same at the unuttered evil propensities of many other devotees, and his words did have such power as to drive them out. When Kaka Sahib Dikshit was at Shirdi, he was once suffering from severe pain in the leg. He found it hard even to walk a furlong. That evening, Baba started for Nimgaon. Dikshit accompanied him. Though they walked together for 3 miles, Dikshit suffered no pain. A lady of Pune was childless. She believed that if she receives a coconut from Baba, her wish would be fulfilled. But whenever she started for Shirdi, some obstacle or the other cropped up and she had to give up. One night, Baba appeared in her dream and gave her a coconut. Next morning, when she woke up, she actually found one in her bed. She was amazed at Baba's Leela and vowed that if she were blessed with a child, she would offer it at Shirdi. Next year, she was blessed with a son and she fulfilled her vow. One Gadge Patil was transferred to far off place. He could not visit Baba and was sorry for not taking his blessing before going there. At last, he started by train. When the train stopped at Kopargaon, the thought that he could not receive Baba's Udi and blessing was too painful to him. The next moment he was surprised to find a small packet of Udi in the window of the compartment. Long after, when he visited Shirdi, Baba told the other devotees that though Gadge Patil could not visit him earlier, he had sent him Udi. Patil put the Udi in a talisman and wore it. Jai Sai Master.